Okay, hello together. Let's do another one today. So we've got random word generator here. Click on that randomwordgenerator.com if you want to know exactly. And we had a word here, but I'm always clicking once on noun and then generate random word, just so you see that I haven't opened the page before or something. And that says pick. All right, pick. Pick meaning like, I don't know. The only thing that comes to mind is pickaxe, maybe like a pick. Yeah, picking something. Yeah, that's easy, right? Like picking something out of a shelf, for example, or picking. But a pick is I'm guessing it's the sharp end of a pickaxe, maybe, or something of that shape, maybe. Yeah, let's talk about that. So I'm thinking of the first things that come to mind are like a pickaxe that you probably need for climbing on a glacier, maybe. Which unfortunately I've never done before, which I probably would like to. Sounds like adventure. I love adventure. Pickaxe, probably digging for something, gold, maybe. Yeah, as I said, I love adventure. When I was a kid, I always dreamed of being an adventurer, like digging for gold, or I loved like pirate stories, or like Indiana Jones, or like mysteries, digging up. I don't know. I love treasure maps. Yeah. So I'm actually thinking of maybe getting a metal detector, trying to detect some stuff, finding some stuff, even if it's just at the beach. I like that already. It's a bit like a treasure hunt as well. Yeah, no, I always liked adventure, and I love that my kids are into that as well. So I really like to, live that out a bit with my kids. We got one of these magnets, like a pretty strong, heavy magnet, and did some magnet fishing. That's a bit of an adventure. That's like finding treasures as well. So that's cool. Just drop it off a bridge. Unfortunately, Christchurch, New Zealand is not that old. I think they settled here in like 1850. So it's about 170, bit more than 170 years ago when they started settling here, and so metal things you really don't find stuff that is that old. We found the coolest finds we had was probably the oldest things were like really old nails. You could see that they're actually really old. They were actually made, by, what was it called? In a forging. Who does it? A smith. They were made nails basically out of a piece of steel, by hand probably, which is really cool. And then the coolest one was probably, or the coolest few were I don't know, 2 or 3 hooves. What are they called? Hoof irons. Horseshoes. Horseshoes, they're called. Oh man, sometimes the words are still missing, in my vocabulary. They're not on top of the mind sometimes. I know the words, but then they are sometimes they just don't pop up. And I'm thinking of the German, because I'm German originally. I'm thinking of the German word first. So sometimes that's a bit of a problem, because I'm thinking of the German word and I'm like, what is that in English? Can't remember. Horseshoe. In German, it is Hufeisen. That's why I was saying hoof iron. because that's the exact translation for Hufeisen, the German word. Yeah, so that's the treasure hunting that comes to mind. Yeah, I made. I'm not sure if I should tell that on the internet though, but yeah, I dug up a treasure in the past before, and now I can't find it back. There's some more detail to that, and I know approximately where it was, but now that I try to find it back, I can't find it anymore. My family knows about it, but and it's not really, it's probably worth nothing, but to me it is worth stuff. And yeah, when I was 12, I dug I dug a hole and put something in it, and yeah, it's probably, I don't know if it's worth anything now, but it's, yeah, I don't know, would love to see it, because that, when I was 12, that is, how long is that ago? That is 28 years ago. 28 years it's in the ground there. If it's still there, I don't know. I couldn't find it. I dug it in dirt. And that's just from my memory. It was about the package was about a meter under the dirt. So that's what I'm thinking. I dug a pretty deep hole, and then I dug it in, and I'm pretty sure there was a meter of dirt that I put on top of it. And I tried to find it with a thin metal stick that I poked in there, and I tried to poke in, and yeah, stuck it in so many times, and about the area where I thought it was, and I couldn't find it. I spent spent hours trying to find it, but couldn't find it. I was wondering if there's actually, maybe with technology, if we could somehow detect it, like just some sort of radar or something, or micro ultrasound or something, that we could go and scan the ground, because I know approximately what the consistency will be different than there's a bit of air in it, it's like a bit of a cavity would be there, and it's a bit different than the dirt. Yeah, so if you know something, if you're watching and you know a way to some sort of sensor that I could use, that would be good. But when I was 12, I was obviously in Germany, so it's in Germany. And yeah, I won't tell you exactly where it is. I don't want other people to go digging there. I want to find it one day. One day I'll find it, probably, hopefully, or not, if it's not there anymore. Yeah, what else? Adventure. Yeah, I liked watching pirate movies where some, the Goonies, if you know that one. And then I think it was in German, Die Schatzinsel, the Treasure Island. I'm not sure if that's the same name in English. That was when I was a kid. Yeah, I always liked that kind of stuff, and I'm still doing those things. We did a lot of geocaching, which is a bit of a treasure hunt as well. And I did that a little bit with the kids too. Don't know, they were not that much into it. Sometimes they are, but then other times they're not, because you don't really get anything from it. Kids, they're like, so what's the treasure? What do we get? There's nothing. Normally with a geocache, you just have things that are swappable, things, there are little items in there that you can swap out. And you find it with the GPS coordinates and some riddle or a description. And I don't know, I like to go out in nature and explore and do that. And I always liked that. Even when I was, geocaching was pretty new still, I already started doing that a little bit. And hid my own cache back at home where I grew up, and I just always liked that. I like the whole, I like the using the technology that's available with the ancient, like, or the nature part, and the ingenuity, the things that you need to come up with, using some technology is also pretty cool. Like the GPS thing is a technology that obviously hasn't been around that long. And then, but on the other hand, you're going out in nature and you're doing a treasure hunt, which is like a real old practice, right? Or a real old idea, I guess. I would love to go around the Caribbean and learn a bit about the sunken ships there, where they actually found treasures, gold and all sorts of things on the bottom of the sea, or if the pirates actually buried some stuff on these little islands. It's amazing just to think about it. But also just treasures that are, maybe actually just natural, right? Like gold or diamonds or or just crystals. It doesn't even have to be very valuable, just maybe rare and pretty or nice. And that's the first thing that comes to mind. I'm thinking of a pickaxe. That's how we got to that, of course. I always go off on a bit of a tangent, but if there's not a lot coming up just with the word, but that's just I think that's basically a good practice to just, where do you go from one word? And I'm just by myself, so the only thing that is leading me right now is my brain. So it's really I think it's a pretty good practice just to see where my head always goes. And of course, if you watch some of the other ones that I did, I often go into the directions that are my interest, my things that I'm interested in, and what the things that are on top of my mind at the moment. So sometimes it could be something that is current as well, right? So that'll happen a lot. Something that keeps me thinking anyway at that time. I'll probably get back to that pretty quickly. So I guess that's it for today. I think we learned a bit about myself, so that was good. Okay, thanks for watching.